talking about diversity and inclusion practice in India, we all know that a lot of Indian organizations are giving a lot of importance to diversity and inclusion, and two common strands of diversity and inclusion, which we give a lot of focus in India, is one is gender and the second one is disability. But the third dimension, which can have a lot of impact on the Indian workplace, is multiple generations, or what we call different generations, or various generational cohorts which are present at the Indian workplace. So when we did our research in the year 2010, so these are the 5 generational cohorts which we have identified in India. So we have the free gens, which are essentially people who are born between the year 1945 and 1960. And there are certain characteristics which are specifically associated with this particular generation, because this is a post-independence generation. These are the kind of people who have actually experienced the benefits and the challenges and the complexities that come with a nation which is free, right? And so there are certain beliefs which this particular generation has got. They believe in the concept of lifetime employment. They're pretty loyal to their workplaces. And they're also, in today's workplace, they are the interim seniors of today's workplace. Then we have the Gen X's, which are people basically born between 1981 to 1970. So this particular generation has basically gone through that entire process of LPG, or what we call as the liberalization, privatization, and globalization phase of India. So they have seen this upswing which has happened in the Indian economy. And E-Gen is the next generation that we have. So these are basically people who are born between the year 1971 to 1980. And this is basically the Confident India cohort. This is because these are the generation which has actually experienced the benefits of the LPG phase, or the economic reform phase which India went through, right? And they are very comfortable with the change process that has happened in the country. And post that, we have the Gen Y, which is basically generation which is born between the years 1981 to 1980. Now, Gen Y and Gen Z together, we also call them millennials. So this is the kind of generation which has been privy to a lot of technological advancements that has happened in the country. This is the generation that has seen the advent of satellite television, the profusion of the TV remote, introduction of mobile phone services in India, and also the introduction of internet in India. And then we have Gen Z, which is basically people belonging to generation which was born after 1991. And this is the most tech-savvy generation because they have seen a profusion of data and technology in their lives. They are basically driven by technology when it comes to their workplaces. Now, talking about generational competence, you must be wondering what exactly is generational competence. Generational competence essentially means our ability to understand and reflect upon our own generation so that it creates more self-awareness in us, and also our ability to understand and reflect upon other generations and the challenges and the complexities, and most importantly, the strengths that come with each generation. So essentially, it is about understanding that each generation is distinct and comes with it its own set of challenges, complexities, as well as strengths. It is also about our ability to rise beyond the various assumptions and beliefs that we have, which we associate with a particular generation, and also valuing the skills, knowledge, life history, and the experiences, which actually sort of acts as a value addition to the workplace. Now, talking about generational competence, Dr. Rajesh spoke about the importance of authentic leadership. So let us see how generational competence helps us in becoming authentic leaders. In the year 2013, there was a study which was conducted by Gallup organization. This study was basically known as the State of the Global Workplace Study. Now, this study threw up some very interesting revelations. The most important revelation which was thrown up by this study was that only 13% of the employees at the workplace globally are actively engaged. And when it comes to India, only 9% of the employees at our workplaces are actively engaged. What this means is that the remaining percentage of the employees, they are not able to bring in, or they lack the motivation to bring in the value of discretionary effort to the workplace, which means they're not able to give their 100% at the workplace. What this also means is that when people are not able to bring in their best to the workplaces, it affects the productivity or the economic productivity of the organization. But apart from that, on an individual basis, it affects the quality of the life of that particular employee. So what typically happens is people are either not able to understand, or they're not able to make full utilization of the strengths that they have, or they are not able to overcome the weaknesses that they have, or another scenario that happens at the workplaces, people are not aware of their core values. What are my core values? I'm not able to either identify that, or even if I'm completely aware of my own core values, when I am under stress or when I'm under pressure at the workplace, I'm not able to act in cognizance with my core values. All these things lead to us being our inauthentic selves at the workplace. When we are able to become our authentic selves, or when we are able to bring our authentic selves to the workplace, what happens is we become a better version of ourselves. We not just become better individuals, we also become better leaders. And studies have shown that authentic leaders have the ability to enhance team cohesion and productivity at the workplace. And this has been proven by several studies. So what generational competence gives you is, it helps you become more authentic. Because when you're aware about your own generations, it helps you in becoming more self-aware. When you have more awareness about other generation, you will become more inclusive. It helps you in your interaction with other people who are either within your organization, or could be people who are from your own team members, right? So with that, I would like to now hand over the stage to Shampi Venkatesh, who is our lead facilitator for the day. Over to you, Shampi.